used him as a starting striker in recent weeks. But that was good play from him there. He never gave up on that ball against Mavropanos. And it was squared across to Ramsey. And then Harvey Barnes with that little cross across the edge of the 6-yard box. Masula just couldn't quite get on the end of it. Ball is out of play. Will be a throw to Newcastle. And they'll get another one here, as that's come off Fernandez. Lewis Hall, right on halfway, sends this throwing back towards Sven Botman. Just one win in their last 6 for the Geordies. It has been a torrid run they've been on. Here's Hall, good ball down that left channel, no, just too strong. And Hermansen comes out to tidy that up. Ball played up to halfway, but Guimaraes will win that back for Newcastle. Here's Trippier, chips the ball down the right flank. It's a good ball over the top. Harvey Barnes onto this, being pursued there by Todibo. Guimaraes once again feeds it into Jacob Ramsey inside the penalty area, back to Guimaraes. Newcastle have it on that far right hand side. Trippier once again. Now Barnes tries to feed it round the back, but it takes a deflection and out for a throw-in off Todibo. Throw-in is taken quickly. Here's Ramsey. Barnes again. Now Tonali comes infield. They still have it on that far right-hand side. Now a cross eventually comes in, cleared away by Mavropanos and out for a throw-in. About level with the edge of the 18-yard box for Newcastle. Will they go for the long throw here? Not sure. It'll be Trippier to take it. Not sure if he's got a long throw in his arsenal. Doesn't appear that that's going to happen, no. He goes back upfield with that throw to Chiao. Now here's Tonali to Malik Chiao, halfway inside the West Ham half. Guimaraes tries to play it down that right channel, but doesn't find Harvey Barnes, and it goes out for a goal kick. So goal kick to West Ham. Eddie Howe scribbling in his notepad. Taken short. And Manson drives it upfield, headed away with authority on halfway by Malik Chiao. Diouf, but it's intercepted by Trippier, who heads it back downfield, and then Todibo. And then launched long ball here, looking for Callum Wilson, but that's tidied up at the back there by Botman, who hooks it back downfield. And his header just kept in. No, not kept in by Lewis Hall. It was a poor header that from Botman, asking too much of Hall. So it goes out for a West Ham throw. 7 minutes gone, 0-0. Here's Disasi. Now Mavropanos. And back it comes to Manson, who's been chased down there by Voltemada. Long clearance downfield, headed back into the West Ham half. It's a bit like tennis this at the moment. Lobs and headers up just over the halfway line, back and forth. Disasi, that's a good ball down this right channel, picked up by Bowen. He's being chased there by Tonali, and the Italian wins the ball and just about keeps it in play to stop it going out for a corner. And then Lewis Hall does even better and wins the throw-in off Bowen near the corner flag. Just short of 8 minutes gone here, 0-0. What has been another busy day of football in the Premier League. Of course, Manchester City won their second trophy of the season yesterday, winning the FA Cup. This is Asula tangling with Todibo over on that far side. The Dane has gone down. He felt he had his shirt tugged, but the referee has waved play on. And West Ham have it now with Mavropanos. Now this is Disasi. Ball down that right channel now, looking for the run of Wilson, not as sprightly as he once was. And he doesn't get there in time. That's sent back to Nick Pope. So Manchester United played their final home game of the season today. They beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. Brentford and Palace shared a 2-2 draw. Everton lost their last home game of the season, disappointingly. 2 late goals for Sunderland. They won that 3-1, the Black Cats, and a 96th minute winner for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, signing off in style at Ellen Road as Leeds beat Brighton and Wolves played out a 1-1 draw against Fulham. That has been the tale of today. Arsenal, of course, will face Burnley tomorrow and will look to edge closer to the Premier League title. That's a good ball down the right channel by Guimaraes. Voltemada wins a corner. Excuse me. Off the boot of Mavropanos. Seems to have grown a moustache, Nick Voltemada. And the corner over on that far side. Just shy of 10 minutes gone. It'll be Trippier to come over to take this corner for Newcastle. First one of the afternoon. And they go short. It comes out, then it's whipped in by Guimaraes through a forest of bodies and into the hands of Hermansen off the floor. And he rolls it out to Wan-Bissaka on this near side. Played up to Souček now. He has it on halfway and keeps going deeper and deeper into the Newcastle half. Still going the check. Now Wan-Bissaka whips in a good ball into the area, goes over the top of everyone. But it's gathered by Trippier on that far side. He sends it down the line, but again, well, he would have found Asula, but Asula slips. And it goes through to Debo. Now Fernandez. His ball doesn't find Callum Wilson, and now Newcastle can break up the middle. It's Will Asula. Oh, brilliant skill there from the Dane. He got twisted and turning through 2 or 3 players there. He was on his own. He was surrounded by 4 shirts, and he weaved his way through. Got his shot off from 22 yards, which takes a big deflection, and out for a corner. That was outstanding skill from the young Dane, who's been on the verge of leaving Newcastle on several occasions. Eddie Howe has said he wants to keep him. Just looking back at that shot from Guimaraes, it clearly strikes the hand of Thomas Souček on the way through to Mads Hermansen, and I think this is being checked. It is being checked. So there's a possible chance of a penalty here for Newcastle, but I think the check is complete. And a big sigh of relief for the Hammers. Corner for Newcastle. Trippier this time goes into the area with it, headed down by Botman, and it's defended on the edge of the 6-yard box, but then Newcastle win the ball back on the edge of the area, but then West Ham briefly win it back, but then Wilson loses it. Now a chance for Newcastle here. Right-hand side of the penalty area, squared into the box. Mavropanos stabs it clear, but Voltemada gets to it, but then he can't hold it. Then he wins it back. It's all trapped under everybody's feet at the moment. Now it breaks for Hall on this left-hand side. Now Tonali. Hall once again. This is Ramsey, plays it round the back for the run of Hall. That's good, but the cross, he couldn't get any power on it. Defended by West Ham, but then Wan-Bissaka loses it on the edge of the area again. Here's Tonali, stabs it across with the outside of his boot, and Disasi heads it away for a corner. Good, tenacious play from the Magpies there. They never gave up on anything. And West Ham were really struggling to clear the decks there. And Newcastle will have their 3rd corner in short order, this time on the near side. And it will be Bruno Guimaraes this time to take the corner. Just shy of 13 minutes gone. So a corner comes into the near post, and it will be a goal kick. Just skimmed off the head of Will Asula. Just looking back at that Guimaraes shot, well, you know what? He's very lucky there. Because for me, he sticks his arm out there and it hits him on the forearm. Well, they got away with that one. Manson with the goal kick. Botman wins the header. And then Souček plays it upfield. Flick on header by Bowen, but the ball goes out on this near side. Lewis Hall felt that came off a West Ham player, but the officials say otherwise. Throw in taken quickly by Wan-Bissaka. Axel Disasi back to Mavropanos, and now back to the keeper Hermansen, who's about 10 yards outside of his area. Long punt down that left-hand side where the sun is shining down here on Tyneside. Newcastle win it back. Here's Nick Voltemade, but that's an absolutely nothing ball out to the left-hand side. Absolutely nobody there, and it trickles rather dejectedly out for a throw-in. But Newcastle have had 11 touches in West Ham's box. West Ham haven't been anywhere near Newcastle's box, and they've given the ball away again, very cheaply there by Hermansen. Now then, they're in the area. Here's Harvey Barnes, chips it in, Voltemade! Volleys in from the edge of the 6-yard box. That was dreadful from West Ham. They gave the ball away so cheaply, and Harvey Barnes was totally unchallenged as he came into the penalty area. Just a little chip across the face of goal. Nobody picked up Voltemade, and it was a simple side-footed volley for the big German on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he plants it home, and Newcastle have the lead here after 15 minutes, and the fans love that. There are reports he's not happy here. It's been a difficult first season for him. Club record signing. He got off to a fast start, but then the goals dried up, and he's been playing in this role behind the striker. But it was Hermansen who gave it away. That's awful defending. Barnes, completely unchallenged as he came into the area, chipped it across the face of the 6-yard box. Mavropanos didn't know he was behind him. Disasi didn't get there in time. That was an absolute shambles from West Ham. And that's why you can see they are where they are. And Nuno Espirito Santo just walked back to his seat, shaking his head. That was awful from West Ham. That is what you call a self-inflicted wound. And Newcastle punishing that. You cannot let Harvey Barnes have that much time and that much space. He literally picked the ball up on the touchline and just waltzed into the penalty area. No one got anywhere, no one even came to meet him. Given all the time to pick his cross. Anyway, West Ham are back down at the Newcastle end now, a rarity for them. Mads Hermansen, we can see there, he's absolutely beside himself. He knows that's on him. Throwing for the Hammers near the corner flag. Wan-Bissaka takes it, it goes back upfield to Disasi. This is Mavropanos inside the centre circle. Almost 17 minutes gone. Newcastle United 1, West Ham United 0. A certain team in North London will be loving this right now. Bowen can't control that ball to him. It was fired at him there by Disasi. Hall takes the throw in quickly. This is Botman. Tonali, nice little flick round the corner there as he was under pressure. Good ball infield from Lewis Hall. Now Guimaraes floats a ball out to this far right-hand side. Kieran Trippier, nice ball round the back, picked up here by Ramsey. Ball into the area and it's defended away by Malik Diouf. But you just get the sense here that Newcastle is starting to turn the screw here. They've been in rotten form lately, but they can be irresistible on this pitch when they have the crowd behind them and they've got the confidence going. It's a tough place to come. Another slip there. I don't know if they watered the pitch before the game, but players are slip-sliding everywhere. Here's Botman now inside the centre circle. Now Malik Thiaw. Great ball through the middle. Voltemade does brilliantly there to hold it up and then almost found Harvey Barnes as he stabbed it through with a stretched leg. Mavropanos got just enough on it to take the steam out of the ball, which then trickled through. And he managed to hook it back to his keeper. Long clearance downfield. Wilson's header just goes all the way through to Nick Pope, who rolls it out calmly for Sven Botman. Another season for Botman. He's been in and out of the team he's very injury prone. And that's been the problem his whole time on Tyneside. He's a good player, but struggles for fitness every single season. Now then, Trippier Here's Guimaraes now. Goal, that's great one-touch football. Here's Asula, 2-0, edge of the box. And that was one pass to the side, one pass to the front. Three-touch football, and Newcastle are 2-0 up. Beautifully finished by Will Asula. But that was so simple. Beautiful football from the Geordies there. Where has this been in recent weeks? And West Ham now are really on the brink here. That was absolutely exquisite from Newcastle there. It was the ball played out to the right-hand side by Guimaraes, and then Trippier. Just look at this, ball out to the side. Then it was flicked down the line, little flick round the corner, then a pass, and then what a pass that was. Diagonal ball, dissected the back two. It was just 5 touches in that, and what a pass that was from Jacob Ramsey, and a cool finish from the edge of the penalty area from Will Asula, sending Hermansen the wrong way. But that was a beautiful goal from Newcastle United. 5 touches, all one touch. And then an absolute killer pass from Jacob Ramsey. And what a finish that was from Will Asula. Taken so calmly and confidently. He's in the form of his career at the moment. He is Bowen now. And that's cleared out for a corner by Botman. Looks of utter dejection high up in the Leeses stand. Imagine the distance they've travelled from East London all the way up here to Tyneside, and it's actually showing some people actually walking out. We've only played 21 minutes. Surely if you've come all, you're not going to leave. First corner of the afternoon for West Ham. Jared Gillett just calling a stop here. So we've had a bit of shenanigans inside the penalty area between Botman and Souček. But the Geordies here looking irresistible at the moment. They'll be absolutely determined to finish what has been a difficult season with their final home game with a win. Just one more game to come next weekend after this. Corner is hammered away deep downfield. Hermansen comes out of his goal and then launches it back the way it came. Botman wins the header, but it goes straight to Bowen. Ball back on the inside, but Souček can't control it. Tonali pinches it off him. This is Lewis Hall. Back to Tonali, but they're hemmed in here. Well, that's a good clearing ball there by the Italian, but it only finds Todibo on the halfway line. Todibo gets the ball back from Malik Diouf. Now Matheus Fernandes comes out to Bowen on this near side. Ball round the back for Wan-Bissaka. Double up on him, but he manages to fashion a good ball through the legs there to the edge of the area. Souček gets a cutback ball to the edge of the area. Shot is blocked on the edge there. It was a shot by Fernandes, and then Malik Diouf has fouled Kieran Trippier over on that far side. It will be a free kick to the Magpies. We're halfway through this first half. Absolute nightmare start for West Ham. The first goal was a shocker. The second goal was absolute poetry from Newcastle. Something which the fans have not seen enough of this season. It's been a very tough year for the Geordies, but there's a big rebuild ahead, but it's whether they can keep hold of the likes of Guimaraes there, who tried to feed it through to Sandro Tonali, another player who's a lot of clubs are monitoring. There will be no European football for Newcastle next season. That's also a big factor as well in player retention, and not only that, but attracting players as well. And of course there'll be a few players going out of the door as well. Ramsey, that's a good ball, and it's one-touch football again. The Newcastle just worked their way into the West Ham box there so easily. Just playing little triangles, and they're just cutting through them so easily. Good ball from Ramsey, then Voltemarda's little nudge into the area, but Barnes couldn't control it, but it's gone out for a corner anyway. On this near side. And West Ham here really are staring down the barrel. Short corner. Guimaraes whips it in, over the head of Harvey Barnes and straight through to Mads Hermansen, who will then, with a long throw, finds Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, so both these teams, maybe for differing reasons, have got big close seasons ahead of them in terms of entrances and exits. In fact, Nuno has seen enough here. He's going to make a change after just 24.5 minutes. Tati Castellanos, the Argentinian striker, is getting ready. 2 goals down. So is he going to go 2 up top? Surely he's not going to be bringing Callum Wilson off after just 25 minutes. Of course, it's an interesting story with Wilson, because apparently, you know, they told him, you know, in January that he could go. You know, he was a free agent, and then suddenly they changed their mind and asked him to stay on a game-by-game basis, and he's still here. Now then, ball chipped in from the edge of the area, but it goes across the face of goal, and Wan-Bissaka will tidy this up. Wilson, of course, a huge favourite here, but again, very, very injury-prone. Curtailed his Newcastle career. Bowen has been fouled here, so it will be a free kick to the Hammers, which will allow West Ham to make this change. And, well, this is a bold one. Jean-Claire Todibo has a wry smile on his face. He's being brought off here. I'm not sure whether it's... well, it's surely got to be tactical. He doesn't seem happy. Well, you wouldn't be being brought off after 25 minutes. But needs must. So I think here, Nuno Espirito Santo, he's got to do it. You just got to throw caution to the wind now. I think he's playing 2 up top. Of course, if they lose this today, West Ham, that doesn't mean that they're down. They would have to wait until Tuesday. So, and if Tottenham beat Chelsea, or in fact even maybe get a draw, then you'd think that's probably his curtains then for West Ham. So they've nothing to lose now, really, in that sense of the word. They've just got to go for it and try and get back into this game. But Castellanos' first involvement is a foul on Voltemade, so it will be a free kick to Newcastle. 30 yards out from their own goal, taken quickly and short by Botman, and then Castellanos has another foul there. It wasn't the best little free kick, and now he's having words with Guimaraes. In fact, it was a rotten free kick from Botman. It was a simple 5-yard pass, and he underhit it, and that's what invited Castellanos to challenge for the ball, but he came in through the back of Guimaraes. So he's only been on the pitch, and Kieran Trippier's come over and had a word with Castellanos. And you can cut that out. So he's literally been on for 30 seconds and he's given away 2 free kicks. And by the looks of it, any more infringements and it will be a yellow card. He's had his 2. Here's Chow. Trippier back to Nick Pope. 27.5 minutes gone. Newcastle United 2, West Ham United 0. West Ham staring down the barrel here. But their supporters will take some hope that Newcastle, as I've said, are the worst offenders in the Premier League at throwing away games from winning positions, particularly late on in games. Voltemade loses possession there. Somerville comes away and he's brought down. Foul by Guimaraes. And the Flying Dutchman gets back to his feet. 28, just over 28 minutes gone. Free kick taken quickly by West Ham. Here's Mavropanos. Just trying to see if they've... Yeah, it looks to me like they've gone to a back 4 here, West Ham. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka in at right back, Mavropanos and Disasi, and Malik Diouf at left back. I think they might have gone 4-4-2. Anyway, they have the ball, edge of the area. Here's Somerville, he's dangerous. Square back ball, and Castellanos with a side-footed volley. Good save by Pope. Danger isn't over. Wilson shoots, and it's palmed away by Pope. Not convincingly, but it will be brought away here by Lewis Hall, who rather carelessly has taken the ball out of play. So immediately, West Ham hitting back. 29 minutes gone. Shot across the bows there. They've got to get Crysencio Somerville into this game more, because he is such a dangerous player, particularly on that side of the pitch against the 36-year-old Kieran Trippier. He showed what he could do there, but it was a good save from Pope at his near post. Long ball out to this side by Souček, but Wan-Bissaka couldn't keep that in. But that was some good play there. He just did Trippier round the back. Good ball in, and a good save from Nick Pope. An instinctive claw away, and then he saved the second shot with his legs at the near post. So a double save for another player who many feel won't be here next season. It's been a difficult season for the keepers, and Newcastle have said that a goalkeeper is one of their top priorities. Here's Bowen, squares it across the face of goal. Ball comes back to Lewis Hall. Got to get rid of this here, and they do. And of course, Aaron Ramsdale is here on loan, and they're not going to make that a permanent deal. I just don't think the fans have been impressed by Pope or Ramsdale all season. With some of the goals they've conceded, it has been a problem for them, and they are looking to address that. Now then, cross comes in. Here's Wilson, heads it up towards the edge of the area, chested down by Souček. Then it hits Guimaraes, who comes away with the ball, and then he's brought down on the edge of the area by Matias Fernandez, but I think the referee says it's just going to go out for a throw-in to the Hammers, who are now starting to claw the way back into this after that change of formation and the addition of a second striker. Ball whipped in by Somerville, and it goes through everybody. Wilson was at the back post, but I don't think he was expecting it to come through to him. But again, it's the little Dutchman that's causing the problems here. Whipped into the area, Souček couldn't get a head on it. And Wilson was lurking at the back post. He couldn't get a telling touch on it either. So signs of encouragement here for West Ham, but has the damage been done? But they are clawing their way back into the contest. Here's Pope with the goal kick. Of course, they have to throw everything at this now, and the danger is, of course, you leave yourself exposed, because I think another goal from Newcastle will put this game to bed, I would imagine, even with their awful record of giving games away. Now Somerville, this is Mavropanos on halfway. Now Matias Fernandez back to Mavropanos. 32 minutes gone. 2-0 Newcastle. This is Disasi. Comes out to Malik Diouf on that far side. Ball back to the feet of Thomas Souček. Now Mavropanos, that's good pressing there from Willasula. Now Bowen on this near side. Ball comes infield, it's dummied cleverly there by Castellanos. Here's Callum Wilson. Now Somerville in centre field. Not the most convincing ball there as it trickles out to Bowen on this near side. Newcastle now back in their defensive shape. Here's Fernandez. Now Somerville in centre field, comes out to Bowen again on this near side. No way through for West Ham now. Newcastle, their two banks of four. This is Disasi. Just lost a bit of ground here. Now Fernandez once again, halfway inside the Newcastle half. Comes out to Bowen on this near side. Gore, good ball into the area with his left foot. Castellanos tries a shot, but he slips. And it's blocked. Now Tonali gets it out to Voltemada. And this is Ramsey, tight to the touchline. That's a good ball, though, across the face of the penalty area to find Malik Chow. Now then, lots of space now for Trippier to run into on this far side. Good ball into the middle. Here's Ramsey. Oh, tried to find Voltemada. That was a good interception by Wan-Bissaka. West Ham break up the middle here. Now then, Somerville breaks away. Oh, he tried to feed it through there for Bowen, but that was a last-ditch tackle by Chow, and then Somerville is brought down by Ramsey, and it's a free kick to West Ham. They look almost like a different team since Nuno made that change and changed them up to what looks to be a 4-4-2. Now then, they have it in again, ball into the area. Here's Castellanos, edge of the 6-yard boxes. Well, he tried to win a corner there, but I think the rebound hit him last, and he can't believe that it's not a corner, it's a goal kick, says Mr. Gillett. But West Ham starting to ask some questions now. But the question still is, have they left it too late? They've given themselves an absolute mountain to climb here against a side who can just go out and play. There's nothing riding on this really for Newcastle other than pride and sending off their departing players with a home win. Now then, here's Malik Chow. Pope. And now Botman will bring it forward. Picks out Guimaraes in centre field. He's got lots of space. Comes up to the halfway line, the Brazilian. Feeds it through to Ramsey. Nice one-touch football again. Voltemada now. Guimaraes once again. Chips the ball over the top. And Nasula just couldn't gather it in. Clever play from the Newcastle captain. Just a little dink over the back line there. Sula raised his arm as he was making that run down the little left channel there. Did get over the head of Mavropanos, but he couldn't gather it in. Fernandez loses out on halfway. Now here's Guimaraes once again for Newcastle. Over on that far side. This is Tonali. Now Harvey Barnes. Edge of the penalty area. Comes out to this far side again. Ball whipped in. Ooh, just over the head there of Osula, but they haven't cleared it convincingly. It's hooked up in the air by Fernandez. Wilson can't bring it down completely, and that allows Botman to tidy that up and pick out Lewis Hall. Now here's Ramsey on this near side. Little 1-2 with Voltemada, and then Wan-Bissaka with the foul on Jacob Ramsey. But I think the referee is just allowing them to play on as the ball went back to Sven Botman. Here's Tonali, dropping deep. Across to Malik Chow. 36.5 minutes gone. West Ham trailing by 2-0. And 2 well-taken goals by Voltemada and Will Osula. This is Guimaraes. Floats it out to that far right-hand side again. That's well read, though, by Malik Diouf, but his clearing header goes out for a throw-in for Newcastle over on that far side. Taken quickly by Trippier. This is Chow. And now Tonali across to Botman. And this is Lewis Hall. Good ball down the line. Space here now for Jacob Ramsey. Should he opt to cross? He goes to the byline, flashes the ball in, and it's put out for a corner by Mavropanos. That was very easy for Newcastle to get into that position for the cross there. A lot of space down this near side. And Guimaraes comes across. He will take this. This is Newcastle's 5th corner of this first half. Almost 38 minutes gone. Takes a drink from a bottle. Sun still shining over on that far side. Newcastle loading up the back post area here. So Guimaraes with the corner, does go to the back post, headed across, and it's gone out for another corner, this time on the other side. Mavropanos defending that header on the near post. So another corner for the Geordies over on that far side. It'll be Kieran Trippier to take it this time. Gets a big ovation as he goes over to that corner. Big signing for Newcastle when they were in the doldrums when Eddie Howe took over. And he was instrumental in bringing a certain steel and leadership and professionalism into the dressing room, and has been a stalwart at the club And he part of the team, of course, the history-making team which won that first trophy in 70 years. Header up in the air by Tonali, and then it's headed back downfield by West Ham. Hall wins that header, but then it's long ball downfield, but that's tidied up by Chiao. Now Pope will clear it back upfield. Voltemada. Now this is Ramsey. Now then, they can break downfield again here. This is Harvey Barnes. Trippier. Ball round the back from Trippier, but it's just too strong for the run round the back there from Barnes, and it will go out for a goal kick. 39.5 minutes gone. Well, at one point it looked as if West Ham were going to be on the end of a hiding, but they seem to have stemmed the blood for a bit here, and have had a, you know, they had a little surge themselves for 5 or 10 minutes when that change was made. 13 touches in the Newcastle box, so it certainly made a difference. But like I said, was it too late? You know, when you're 2-0 down after 20 minutes, it's a long way back. Not beyond the bounds of possibility, as nothing is, especially in the Premier League, and especially with Newcastle. They never like to do things easy. Ball comes infield here now for Guimaraes. He needs to get rid of that. Someone breathing down his neck, and it's a misplaced ball from the Newcastle captain, and then the foul comes in from him on Souček, and it will be a free kick to West Ham. In a pretty decent position as well. I'd say it's about just over 30 yards out on the left-hand side. Maybe a touch more. Two-man wall comes in place. Looks like Fernandez and Malik Diouf standing over this for the Hammers. Nearly 41 minutes gone. Newcastle need to switch on here. So, free kick. It will be Malik Diouf into the area. It goes over the top of everyone and out for a goal kick. Disappointment for West Ham. Well, they have been so much better in the second half of this first half, if you see what I mean. And Pope puts the ball down on the 6-yard line and opts to go long with this one. And the players just funnel upfield. Long kick from Nick Pope. It's 2 goals in 4 minutes for the Geordies. Voltemada on 15, Asula on 19. Prompted Nuno Espirito Santo to make that change. They have been much better since, but they still have a lot of work to do here. And of course, Newcastle more than capable of scoring more. Here's Trippier on that far side. Carelessly gives that one away though. Now this is Somerville. Fernandez. Now Malik Diouf on that far left-hand side. Somerville once again. Just walks the ball downfield, being watched all the way. And yes, well done there from Guimaraes. Just didn't dive in and gets the block in. Goes out for a throw-in. Taken quickly. Fernandez, Malik Diouf. Now Disasi. Not the best pass there. Didn't find Mavropanos. Wan-Bissaka has to come back to collect it, and they've lost so much ground there now, and this will come all the way back to Mads Hermansen. It's a disappointment there for that one. Now then, Disasi, ball down that left-hand side. Now a nice little reverse pass will find Malik Diouf. He crosses into the area along the floor, looking for Wilson, straight into the arms of Nick Pope, and Newcastle will come away here with Lewis Hall. Back to Botman, now Hall once again. Short pass infield to find Jacob Ramsey. And he has space now to bring the ball up to the halfway line. This is Harvey Barnes. Little nudge to Voltemada. 30 yards out here, the big German. Brings the ball inside, nice ball to the edge of the area. Just slightly miscontrolled by Barnes. He gets the ball back from Tonali. Here is Tonali now, 30 yards out from the West Ham goal in centre field. floats it out to Trippier on that far right-hand side. Now here's Guimaraes. Gets the 1-2 with Voltemade. Now it comes back out to Trippier. Patient build-up here from the Magpies. This is Voltemade again. Runs in towards the edge of the area. Brought down by Barnes. Turns and shoots, but he gets no power in it. And it trickles along the floor and into the hands of Mads Hermansen. Normally such a great finisher, Harvey Barnes, but just didn't get any power on that at all as it trickled through. Long ball downfield by Hermansen, and it's shepherded out by Botman for the Newcastle throw on this near side. Final 30 seconds of normal time here. Newcastle leading by 2-0. Here is Voltemade. Was he fouled? No, says the referee. Here's Disasi now for West Ham. Ball comes out to Malik Diouf on that far left-hand side. But Newcastle scuttle across quickly to shut him down. Then they reverse it to this side now. Wan-Bissaka. Here's Jared Bowen. Comes in on his left foot, whips in a decent ball. Headed away by Chow. Brought down neatly by Ramsey on the edge of his penalty area. And then Botman will clear it downfield. 3 minutes of added time. Now Mavropanos, we had to get rid of that quickly back to Hermansen because Will Asula was breathing down his neck there. Now here is Matias Fernandez. Good ball down the right channel, looking for Castellanos, but it just had a little bit too much on it. Goes through to Pope, who rolls it out to Guimaraes. Now Barnes, good ball out to the right side, but just too strong in the end. Right idea, but he was never going to find Trippier with that. Malik Diouf with the throw, just goes back to his keeper. Hermansen. 1 minute of the added 3 already elapsed. So it's looking like West Ham are going to have to come out in the second half and produce an incredible performance. They're going to need 3 goals, and that's not discounting whether Newcastle score again, which they're more than capable of doing. Hermansen, long ball downfield, headed away by Botman. Nice little back heel there from Castellanos, but they didn't read it. It's picked up by Voltemade, whose pass downfield was brilliantly blocked by Fernandez. Now his ball downfield now, chested down on the edge of the area by Wilson, but Chow pinches it from him, rolls it back to Pope, who wastes no time in hammering it downfield. But it's just coming straight back at them again at the moment. Here's Fernandez once more. But Newcastle soaking this up at the moment. Here is Disasi. Now Somerville. And they'll just be calmed here, West Ham, near the halfway line. Can't seem to work the ball forward. 2 minutes of the added 3 gone. And now they're back inside their own half here with Mavropanos. This is Fernandez on this near side. Plays that into the side of the sideline there for Bowen. And he's forced infield. Mavropanos. And now Disasi will bring it down this left side for West Ham. He's forced all the way out to that touchline, and that's some dogged defending there over on that side by Newcastle, and in particular there from Harvey Barnes. Long diagonal ball down the field out to that left-hand side. Trippier, was he fouled there by Castellanos? The referee says yes, near the dead ball line. And maybe that will be the final act of this first half. It will be a free kick to Newcastle if they have time to take it. No, it is half-time. So a mountain to climb for the Hammers here. 4 minutes in which Newcastle put them to the sword. Nick Voltemade's volley from 6 yards out, and then Will Asula calmly finishing after an incredible sweeping counter-attacking move. West Ham made the change, went to 4-4-2. They have looked better since, but you have to say they're going to need something unbelievably special to turn this around. Will they do it? Well, we'll see. We'll be back in 15 for full second half coverage. Half time here at St James's Park. Newcastle United 2, West Ham United 0. But we are talking about a team who have given away more points from winning positions than any other team in the Premier League this season. Here's Trippier on his final home game as a Newcastle player. Disasi put under pressure immediately, and it's chipped out by Malik Diouf for a throw-in to Newcastle on this near side, which Trippier will take. Brought down, little flick around the edge of the area there from Osula. Voltemada does well to keep hold of it. Barnes still have the ball here, Newcastle. Here's Voltemada. Now Trippier. Nice little chip over the top, chested down. Voltemada. Oh, clever play between Voltemada and Guimaraes. Newcastle, but the offside flag, yeah, I thought might have gone up there. They were working in a tight space. Some enterprising stuff in the opening minute of this second half. Long, long journey on a Sunday, particularly for a kick-off at this time. Heaven knows what time it'll be by the time they get home, and it's all the worse if you come away with nothing, knowing that in a couple of days' time, that could be it. So hats off to those spectators who've travelled all the way from East London. It's probably, well, yeah, I would imagine it is their longest away trip of the season. Now then, here's Malik Chow. Ball over the halfway line, nice flick round the corner from Harvey Barnes. Now Voltemada comes roaring down the pitch, tries to slip it through for Osula. Just too much on it there from the German. Goes through to Hermansen, who was quick off his line. Now Mavropanos. That's chested down by Wilson on halfway, and then he goes down under the attention of Sven Botman. Free kick given, taken quickly. Mavropanos once more. Now this is Axel Disasi. Now Malik Diouf on this near side, up to Somerville. Now Fernandez, 1-2 with Souček, and now it comes out to Somerville on this left-hand side. He's the danger man, running at Trippier, nudges it round the back for Malik Diouf, who goes down in the penalty area, trying to get a penalty there, ref not interested. It was a good run, just a coming together there, and in fact it was Chow that came across in the end. He ended up sort of being a sandwich between Chow and, yeah, that was a dive, I'm sorry. Desperate times and all that. Ref not interested. 48 minutes gone. Still 2-0 to Newcastle. And it will be a goal kick to the Magpies. Nick Pope puts the ball down on the edge of the 6-yard area. He has a man either side of him. Sends it across to the German Malik Chow. Now Trippier. One ball up to the halfway line, but it only finds Axel Disasi. Now Mavropanos, good ball to Souček on this near side. This is Somerville. Has to cut in field, the Dutchman. Now here's Fernandez. Now Mavropanos once again, edge of the centre circle. This is Wan-Bissaka. Back to Mavropanos. Now Fernandez on this near side, edging ever closer to the Newcastle goal. But don't seem to be able to make a penetrative pass at the moment. It's just going from side to side. Wan-Bissaka, Bowen. Newcastle won't mind this at all. They'll just sit in their shape. Now Osula goes pressing, trying to pinch the ball off Disasi. Now here's Malik Diouf. Fernandez once again. Now he moves it forward, but that sails over Callum Wilson's head. It's tidied up at the back by Lewis Hall. Well, he should have got rid of it there, and he decided not to, and he's just backed himself into a corner there near the corner flag. But oh, and that's a loose ball from Voltemada, but Ramsey's done well to win it back. And now Hall has lost it again, and that is all. It's all on Lewis Hall. That he should have just got rid of the ball. He decided to just go back on himself. I have no idea why, but they've got away with it. Just now Tonali roaring down that far flank. Ball in field to Osula. He goes down on halfway. Guimaraes now, here's Trippier. Loads of space down this right-hand side. Whips in a great ball, just too strong for the man on the edge of the 6-yard box, but it will be gathered in by Tonali over on that far side. Hall, Tonali once more. Now Jacob Ramsey. Play to the edge of the area, Guimaraes. Now here's Malik Chow. Comes out to Trippier again, who's got a lot of space on this near side. Fires a loose ball in there, looking for Voltemade on the edge of the box. Now West Ham will break downfield here. But that's not the best pass out to Malik Diouf on this near side. Had to scramble to get it, kind of killed the momentum. But Fernandez now comes forward. This is a good run. Gets the ball out wide. Malik Diouf with the cross towards the back post. Chested down by Callum Wilson. But it will be a corner for West Ham. I think it came off Botman last. That was a decent counter downfield there by the Hammers down that left-hand side. Chested down by Callum Wilson. And, well, actually, it's a goal kick because as Botman cleared it, it came off the chest of Wilson before it went out. So a goal kick to Newcastle. 51.5 minutes gone. Got a little break in play here while Sandro Tonali is receiving some treatment here. And now he's sat down and then fallen onto his back. I'm not sure what he's done. Physio seems to be looking at an ankle. Seemed fairly innocuous. Yeah, it's that right ankle. The physio there just flexing his ankle and his right knee. Now he's feeling the back of his thigh. Yeah, that could be it for Tonali. And Joe Willock looks as if he's being readied here. Now that could be it. That is a hamstring. That could be his season done and dusted for the Italian. Of course, he won't be going to the World Cup because Italy didn't qualify for the 3rd successive time. And you have to ask yourself, because there have been all kinds of things swirling around, is that Sandro Tonali's last game for Newcastle United? If that injury is as bad as it looks, well, he's coming off under his own steam. He's applauding the fans. But you just have to ask that question. It's going to be difficult for Newcastle, with no European football, to keep hold of their, as Bobby Robson used to call them, the dear old thing, blue chip players, which he and Guimaraes certainly are. Let's hope that's not the last we see of him. Pope with the goal kick. Chow with the long clearance downfield. Willock on the field now for Newcastle. Here's Trippier, wins the header. Now Chow once again. Clever play from Guimaraes. Tries to get away from Bowen. Finds Hall on that far left-hand side. Back to Guimaraes. Well, that's a loose pass from Bruno. And now West Ham have it in centre field. Somerville comes downfield and he's tackled from behind, not once but twice there by Jacob Ramsey, who pinches the ball off him. That was good play. Timed his tackle well there. And he's still going. Cuts infield here. Then it comes out to Lewis Hall on that far left-hand side. 54 minutes gone. Now here's Malik Chow. I think what Newcastle will want more than anything today is to just win a game without sweating near the end and not putting themselves under pressure. You know, it's absolutely dogged them all season. That's careless from Voltemade, chest down a header, and it's gone straight out for another throw-in, but this time for West Ham. You know, they won't want to be clinging on near the end, you know, and waiting for the demons to come. That's well done though by Voltemade. He's won the ball back. Little ball through there from Harvey Barnes trying to find Osula. He was muscled off it inside the penalty area, but the offside flag had gone up anyway. So it will be a free kick to West Ham. And Eddie Howe out in his technical area, telling Will Osula to stick with his man. He has changed things up with his formation. Eddie Howe has come under a lot of criticism this season, despite winning that trophy for Newcastle, about his inflexibility and tactical, you know, all that kind of thing. And he has come in for some tremendous brickbats from his own supporters, but many of them inside this ground want him to stay, and I think he deserves to be given time with what he has achieved here. But he's admitted himself that he needs to up his game, and he can't have another season like they've had this season. That is for sure. This club demands big things now. Anyway, here's Wan-Bissaka over on the far side. Now then, into the area comes Fernandez. Does well there, drop of the shoulder, left-footed shot, but it's straight at Nick Pope. Comfortable save for the keeper. Just palmed it down in front of his face. Now here is Joe Willock. I think he is one of the players that Newcastle have said, you know, if there's an offer, we'll take it. This is Guimaraes. Comes out to Hall on that far left-hand side. Tries to nudge it through, gets the ball back from Voltemada. Hall tries a shot, palmed away at his near post by Hermansen. Gets the ball back, still danger here. Fed in by Chow, shot from Voltemada, that's blocked. Now Harvey Barnes. West Ham just can't get rid of it here. Still on the side of the penalty area, on that left-hand side. Another long-range shot comes in, and it's from Guimaraes, and it lands on the roof of the net. Good effort from the captain. Curling shot there, and it just crept over the top of the bar and landed on the roof of the net. 57 minutes gone, still 2-0 to Newcastle. And the long clearance downfield by Hermansen. Hall wins the header, but only finds Wan-Bissaka. He plays a ball downfield. Wilson's onto it, he shoved a man off it there, but couldn't then feed it through to Castellanos. They have watered the pitch at half-time, I'm not sure why. Again, players are slipping and sliding all over the place. But Chow had to be better there. He's bundled off it by Callum Wilson, and then a rather careless foul. Now Souček there has had another go at Guimaraes, who has reacted angrily there and raised his hands at Souček, and it's all getting very spicy. Yeah, Souček there had tried to kick the ball while Guimaraes was... He did foul Guimaraes, it was a shove in the back, and then the ball was in Guimaraes' hands, and Souček there just kept kicking. He kicked Guimaraes in the arm twice, and which was bang out of order, but of course you can't react the way that Guimaraes did. That was silly play from Thomas Souček. The referee had blown for a foul. Guimaraes just had the ball in his hands and he just kept kicking at it. Kicked him twice. So he's gone into the referee's notebook. Just waiting to see whether Guimaraes has. I'm sure he will do for his reaction there. Understandable, that reaction. You know, he had the ball in his hands and he got a guy kicking you, literally kicking you. I don't think he has been booked. Lucky to have got away with that. So we're approaching the hour mark. Still 2-0 here, and West Ham running out of time to do something about this. They've not really threatened much in this second period. But Newcastle, of course, like I said, you know, the fans will be thinking, oh, is 2-0 enough? Because we know what we're like. They'll definitely be looking for that third goal to make sure. Hall with the throw down the line. Voltemada, who's been really good today, Despite being very tall and gangly, he's got excellent touch. And he's technically very sound with the ball at his feet. Here's Chow. Now Kieran Trippier. Waving players downfield. Plays it up to Barnes, but that's a loose ball from Harvey Barnes. It goes out of play. Throw-in taken quickly by Malik Diouf. He worked the ball out to Somerville on this near side. Tried to take it round Trippier, but it's gone out for a Newcastle throw. West Ham are going to make another change here shortly. Newcastle have taken the throw quickly. Pablo de Jesus, the Brazilian. Oh, that's a loose ball from Malik Chow. Goes straight to Wan-Bissaka, who comes forward with it now, but he's dispossessed by Joe Willock. Now then, Newcastle break down through the middle here. Voltemade. Now here's Harvey Barnes. Newcastle not quite had the flow of that first half. Well, that's a good run from Hall down that left side. He gets the ball now. Edge of the penalty area. Still has all the time in the world to decide what he's going to do. Voltemade brings it down, but then it's hooked away by Castellanos. Then a sliding retrieval there, but Hall can't keep it in on that far side, and it will go out for a throw-in. Game just gone a bit scrappy in the last 5 minutes or so. West Ham have the ball over on that far side. Souček. Now Wan-Bissaka. Infield it comes to Matías Fernandez. 61.5 minutes gone. This is Axel Disasi. Now Malik Diouf on this near side. He runs, puts a ball, well, it would have been a decent ball into the box there. It just evades Somerville. Players slipping and sliding all over the place. That was cleared downfield by Botman, and he ended up on his backside. Now then, Fernandez. This is Somerville. Gets past one man, cuts in field. Such a tricky customer. Gets a good ball back. This is great stuff. And then a brilliant block from Chow on the edge of the 6-yard box. One thing is for sure, if West Ham do go down, I don't think they're going to be able to keep this young man. He is such a talent. Such quick feet, the Dutchman. And he played that into Chow, who blocked it, put his body on the line there. And it will be a corner. It's a double change, actually, for the Hammers. Well, Disasi and Malik Diouf have come over to the manager, but I don't think it's them two that are coming off. It's a change. Souček is coming off after that yellow card. Can't afford for him to get another. And Wan-Bissaka is the other man. So Wan-Bissaka and Souček come off, and it will be Pablo and Mahamadou Kanté, the Frenchman, the young Frenchman, to come on. So more attacking reinforcements for Nuno. Well, they've got to do it, haven't they? They've got to throw everything at this now. Long ball downfield. Manson quickly to the edge of his area before Asula could get on the end of it. Of course, the danger always is when you throw everything forward, as West Ham must do, that you do leave yourself open to the counter-attack. But they have no choice. They have to do this now. They've no choice. They have to try and find something in this game. If they can get one back here, it'll start the nerves jangling again inside St James's Park. So they still have plenty of time to do it. Hermansen, long clearance downfield, but that is a foul there by Callum Wilson on Sven Botman. The Dutchman goes down. Castellanos trying to help him to his feet, but Botman not interested. Yeah, just a clear shove there by Wilson on his former teammate. And it is a free kick to the Magpies. 64 minutes gone. I think Newcastle would feel a whole lot better if they could get a third. It's been that kind of season, I'm afraid. Pope, long clearance upfield, but that's poor. Straight out of play. And that's been another criticism of the Newcastle goalkeeper is distributing. Oh, they've lost the ball here. Pablo was dawdling on it. Asula. Now Willock inside the area. Squares it back. Asula! 3-0. They've hit them on the counter. And West Ham are done and dusted here. Pablo dawdling on the ball. Had it pinched off him. And Joe Willock, storming run downfield, showed the composure, squared it across the penalty area and tucked home rather beautifully and calmly by Will Osula, who gets his second goal of the afternoon. It is Newcastle 3, West Ham United 0. Is the Premier League fading for the Hammers? Tottenham fans will be leaping for joy here. They still have a job to do, of course. But yeah, that was really sloppy. They had the throw-in. Malik Diouf took it. It was a poor touch from Pablo. Had the ball pinched off him there. And then it was squared across by Joe Willock. But the initial break forward was from Asula himself. And then he just played the 1-2. So full of energy, the young Dane. He's the man that pinched the ball off Pablo. Raced downfield with it, played it out wide right to Joe Willock, who then returned the ball back into Osula, who calmly side-footed it home from 10 yards out. And that is that third goal they were looking for. Surely West Ham are done here. And that's, again, just a lack of concentration from a player just on the pitch. And the Geordie faithful getting what they were hoping for here for the last home game of the season. Some West Ham fans have seen enough. They know they've got a very long journey ahead of them, those of them that have made their own way up here and are not on club coaches. They want to get on the road. And they've got I hate to think, maybe a 6-hour journey at least, probably more actually. Dejection up in the top tier of the Leasy stand as well. Their fate could be decided by Tuesday, by the end of Tuesday evening, depending on what Tottenham do against Chelsea. Of course, Tottenham have had a much bigger rest. Chelsea only played yesterday, of course. Diouf was booked as well. Not sure what that was for. Maybe he said something. Anyway, 67.5 minutes gone. Newcastle coming home with a wet sail in the final home game of the season. This will be a nice way to end things for them. They'll be looking for more though now. Here comes Willock roaring down. Oh, almost managed to find Harvey Barnes, who's been way off his best today, Barnes. But the ball is well won back there by Malik Chow. Now Voltamada out to Barnes on this near side. Edge of the penalty area. Nice little ball round the back for the run of Guimaraes, but Disasi shields that ball as it goes out for a goal kick. 68 gone. Newcastle 3. West Ham United 0. West Ham really are staring down the barrel now. Spurs go to Stamford Bridge on Tuesday evening. And as things stand, and of course also they have a far... Oh! Sorry, what a goal that is! Tati Castellanos. Well, I was just about to explain the league table, and that was Route 1. Long goal kick downfield. Castellanos. There's Hermansen with the long goal kick. It went over the top of the Newcastle back four, and then Castellanos, edge of the penalty area. Let's just see this again. It came off the back of Botman, and then a volley from 22 yards out, and he's put it over the head of Nick Pope, who was off his line. What a finish that is from the Argentinian. Tati Castellanos. That was exceptional. Well, oh dear me. Newcastle again will be... Oh, but I'll tell you what, I mean, I don't think you can really legislate for that. But now they've given the ball away again here now, the Magpies, inside their own half. And the foul comes in. The referee says play on. And all of a sudden, nerves are jangling again. What I was about to say was Spurs have a miles better goal difference than West Ham. So if West Ham were to lose this game, which in all likelihood is looking to be the case, although you do never know, a draw for Tottenham on Tuesday will theoretically be enough to send West Ham down. That would mean Spurs were 3 points ahead of West Ham going into the final game of the season, and there is a 14 goal difference between them. So basically that's the situation. Handball given by Jared Gillett by Pablo, so it will be a free kick to Newcastle, halfway inside their own half on this near side. 70.5 minutes gone. Chow, long crossfield ball floated out to Lewis Hall on that left-hand side. Well, those poor souls that came all the way up here from East London and have decided to leave early, which is understandable to some extent, have missed an absolute worldie. At least they would have had that to take back with them. But they've missed that. Now, but Newcastle come forward again here. This is Hall. Whips the ball in from the left side. Voltemada goes down. Nothing doing, says the ref. Trippier does really well to keep it in on this near side. Feeds it back in field to Guimaraes. Now here's Voltemada. Then plays a lovely ball for Guimaraes. Oh, shot blocked by Hermansen with his feet at the near post. Beautiful interplay there between Guimaraes and Nick Voltemada. Such a deft touch, the German there. Took that inside the area in a lovely little reverse ball down the channel for the run of Guimaraes, who side-footed it. Didn't really get enough power on that, but they have got a corner here, the Magpies, and Harvey Barnes will be the man to take it. 3-1 they lead. They go short to the edge of the area. And then it's, well, they attempted for Hall to play that back through to Barnes, but they made a mess of it. And now West Ham will look to break downfield. Good ball with the outside of his boot there from Tati Castellanos, trying to find Somerville, but it was well defended in the end. This is Matias Fernandez. And he has the ball once again on halfway. Ball chipped over the top. Castellanos, head got in behind Harvey Barnes there, but his header just goes through to Nick Pope. 72.5 minutes gone. Now then. Oh, and that's given away cheaply again by Newcastle inside their own half. Here's Castellanos again. Ball's in the area, but it's a foul on Lewis Hall, is it? No, the ref says play on, and then a West Ham player's gone down. We still play on. Here's Guimaraes. Goodness me, and that's another poor ball given away. Long-range shot from Fernandez. It's gone, sorry, from Mavropanos. It's gone high over the bar. Well, Newcastle are not doing themselves any favours here at all. Giving the ball away so cheaply inside their own half. And it was, well, they're claiming that Callum Wilson was fouled by Lewis Hall. No, not for me. Not for me. That is not enough for Wilson to go down. And the referee has checked and nothing happening there. But again, we've seen it time and time again with Newcastle. Their inability to see out a game. And since Castellanos got that worldie, they've just become very nervous and very sloppy inside their own half. That has been the problem all season. Long clearance by Pope. Now brought down by Chow. That is why. And now he's lost the ball again. And they come forward here with Bowen. There's men over. Bowen shoots. Pope makes a mess of it, but then gets the second ball on the... after he'd spilt it initially. But goodness me, it's just so poor from Chow there. And this has been the problem all season. It's a mentality thing here. Newcastle have been awful since that goal went in from Castellanos. Eddie Howe making a double change. Jacob Murphy and Dan Byrne are coming on. Voltemada is coming off. I think this is Eddie Howe trying to shore things up here. Harvey Barnes, who's not had a good game today, is also going to come off here. I think Voltemada's been excellent. He comes off for this final 15 minutes, but it's just been so careless and sloppy, Newcastle, since that goal went in for West Ham. Just need to switch on. So Byrne comes on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because Hall, Botman, Chow and Trippier are still out there. So I don't know. Byrne, are they going to go to 5 at the back? Pretty desperate, isn't it? I mean, that kind of sums it up for Newcastle. You're at home, you're playing a team who are staring relegation in the face. You're 2 goals up and you go to 5 at the back so you don't end up losing the game. That says it all, doesn't it? Here comes Fernandez. Here's Malik Diouf. They're certainly going to have to sort that out next season. But this isn't over yet. Malik Diouf whips the ball into the area. Oh, and Wilson there just got in front of Dan Byrne. Got a little flick on it. And again, Pope doesn't collect it cleanly. The first time of asking. Here's Lewis Hall now. Infield it comes to Jacob Ramsey. Now Byrne. This is Willock. Guimaraes comes out to Trippier on this near side. Feeds it infield, but that's not the best touch there from Jacob Ramsey. And it goes out of play for a throw into West Ham on this near side. About a quarter of the way up the pitch. Malik Diouf with the throw. Chow wins the header. Guimaraes loses out to Fernandez in centre field. Now he nudges it to Mavropanos. Just inside the Newcastle half. Nearly 77 on the clock. Loads of space for Malik Diouf on this near side. Brings it down, whips in a dangerous ball. It's headed towards the back post. Picked up and saved by Pope at his near post from the volley from Castellanos. Alarm bells ringing here at St James's. Far too much time there Malik Diouf had to pick his aim and whip in a dangerous ball there. Chested down and, oh, in fact, Pope didn't save it. That hit the bar or the post. But again, I'm afraid this is not what the Newcastle fans want to see. I mean, they are, to some extent, holding on a little bit here. And they have a 2-goal cushion. But those demons, they come back. And since Castellanos got that goal back, they've just been very jittery and very sloppy, Newcastle. And that is definitely a mentality thing that they need to iron out. But they're doing all they can here now to just shore this up and see this game out. They're determined to finish the last home game on a win. Here is Joe Willock now down this left-hand side. And to a large extent, they deserve it. They've been far the better team for most of this game. But like I said, as soon as that goal went in from Castellanos, real change in the way they played. Long-range shot from Jacob Murphy, straight at the keeper. Another player who might be on his way. He's blows a bit hot and cold, Murphy. When he's on, he's irresistible. I mean, his assists and his crossing are outstanding a lot of the time. And like I said, there is a lot of things up in the air at this club to be sorted over the summer. Here's Fernandez. That's blocked by Guimaraes. Now they can come forward here with Will Osula. They just look very laboured, Newcastle, at the moment. That's a foul, though. Oh, and that's going to be a booking for Kante as he's kicked the ball away. The impetuosity of youth there from the young Frenchman. Can't do that anymore. Yeah, just tugged Osula over and then had a little meltdown, kicked the ball away. Out comes the yellow card from the Australian referee, Jared Gillett. Coming up to the 80th minute. And it's looking increasingly likely now that Newcastle are going to see this home and finish their last home game on a high. Free kick taken quickly. Guimaraes out to that far side, headed in by Hall, hooked away by Disasi from the edge of the 6-yard box out to that far side. Willock tangling with Wilson, and it will be a throw in to Newcastle over on that far side. Final 10 minutes of normal time. Dan Burn comes across to take this throw in. Looking for options, goes short, gets it back off Lewis Hall. Now this is Guimaraes, sends it all the way back to Nick Pope. And his ball comes out to this near side to Trippier. Oh, he's given the ball away there, Trippier. That was careless again. Here's Castellanos, who's looked very dangerous since he came on. This is Malik Diouf, now Somerville on this near side. Infield it comes to Matthias. Oh, just too many bodies there. And Newcastle get the ball clear, but, well, only as far as Disasi. It's going to come at them again here, because West Ham just have to throw everything at Newcastle now. Here's Somerville. They have to. They've no option here. This is Malik Diouf. Again, so much time to whip the ball in, and, well, Castellanos again got in round the back of Byrne, but he couldn't get the header on target. It was up in too high, really. Couldn't get down over the ball. Hall now down this left-hand flank. And Newcastle, well, is that a foul on Willock there by Mavropanos? Yes, it is. But definitely since that goal went in for West Ham, they've been the better team by some distance. They don't clear that well, though. Now Murphy has it inside the penalty area. Oh, that's a poor ball. And then the foul from Trippier. Referee plays advantage as Somerville comes roaring downfield. Then he's tugged back by Lewis Hall. That's taking one for the team, and he gets the yellow card. But that was sloppy again there by Newcastle. They had a good opportunity inside the area. What's the referee doing here? He's just holding up play while he writes down the name of Lewis Hall into his book. It was a poor ball from Murphy, just tried to nudge it to the edge of the area. Didn't find a black and white shirt, and then Hall just had to do what he had to do there. 83 minutes gone. Newcastle 3, West Ham 1. Fernandez. Now this is Pablo on this near side. Malik Diouf back in field to Pablo. Chips the ball down this left side, and that's a good save from Pope down near his near post. I think it might have been again Tati. Glancing header again, got in front of his man. Or did that come off Malik Chow's head? Danger again there. I mean, to be quite honest, you know, Newcastle should not be hanging on here at 3-1. But that is exactly what they're doing. Here's Trippier. Long ball down this right channel, looking for the run of Osula. Disasi will shepherd that out for a goal kick. 83.5 minutes gone. West Ham have to get on with it. Here's Malik Diouf. Back to Hermansen. He's got to get the ball up the field, and he does now. That's an easy head for Hall on halfway, chested down by Guimaraes. But that's, again, given away all too cheaply. And the flag goes up anyway. So it is a free kick taken quickly. Here's Mohamedou Kante. Newcastle are going to make a double change. Two of the players they spent a lot of money on and who have not lived up to expectations. Anthony Elanga and Johan Visser. And this is entirely to give Kieran Trippier the ovation he so richly deserves St James's Park on its feet to Kieran Trippier, who has been a legend at this club. What a player, and what a way to bring down the curtain at St James's Park. Gets a big hug from Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall and Graham Jones. And huge ovation inside this cathedral of football on Tyneside for... He's a great player, he's been a great player, he's at the end of his career now. Osula comes off for Newcastle, he's been excellent today. And a rare chance for Johan Visser, who's had such a disappointing season. It's been injury plagued, he's been out of form, he's been left on the bench. You know, he's had a lot of questions asked. They paid 55-60 million pounds for him from Brentford, and he just hasn't delivered. And Alanga as well hasn't hit the heights he did at Nottingham Forest, but maybe if Johan Visser can get a proper pre-season under his belt. That is, of course, if he's still here. He's another player that Newcastle have said they will accept offers for. He wins the header there. Elanga tussling away there with Malik Diouf. 86 minutes gone, long ball downfield, well blocked there by Malik Chow. Newcastle just seem to have settled down a little bit since they had that horrible, sloppy 10 minutes after that goal went in from Castellanos. This is Dan Burn. His pass downfield is blocked, and it will go out for a throw into Newcastle over on that far left-hand side. So it's looking ever increasingly that West Ham's tenure in the Premier League will be hanging by the proverbial thread. Well, it was anyway, but even more so. But it's not over yet. Murphy has lost possession there, and he's tussling, but he's done well. He's won the ball back off Somerville inside the area, and Chow clears it away. But yeah, it's out of their hands now. Tottenham, over to you. Now then, Elanga down this near side, gets the ball back now. Can Newcastle finish with a flourish here? Here comes Joe Willock roaring downfield on the counter. Still goes, gets the ball into the area. Hall tries a shot, blocked by Mavropanos. Hall will scamper back and get the ball back again. They have it inside the area on that far left side. Beautiful chip over the top from Willock. Hall is going to win a corner off Disasi. And yeah, West Ham will be relying on one of their London neighbours from the west of the city to do them a favour on Tuesday evening. But even then, going into the final game of the season, they will still be finding themselves 2 points behind Tottenham. So it will be intriguing. But I think they're going to come up short here. Newcastle just running the clock down now. They have this corner. 2 minutes of normal time. Up in from that left-hand side, headed away by Pablo. But it's gathered in by Jacob Ramsey. And suddenly Newcastle now finishing with a wet sail here after that rather nervy little passage of play. It looks very much like they're going to finish their home campaign with a much-needed win. Only one win in the last 6. They've conceded a goal kick there, and West Ham want to get on with it. Doesn't seem to be any kind of massive urgency here. This Malik Diouf, little flick round the corner there from Castellanos, tussling with Murphy. Ball goes out of play, and it is a Newcastle throw. Castellanos standing his ground. Murphy throws it back to Malik Chow. Died. Now Lewis Hall is more or less playing as a winger now. Back it comes to Botman. Now Willock chests it down, tries to turn, but he loses the ball. Pablo forward now. West Ham have it. This is Somerville in centre field, 30 yards out. Ned gets towards the edge of the area, nudges it out to this left-hand side. Now Malik height and plucks it out of the air. And that comes to naught for West Ham. We're going to be facing an incredibly long and dispiriting journey back to the East End, knowing that this could well be the final nail in the coffin, unless Chelsea do them a favour on Tuesday. And that is a Chelsea side who are in awful form and are just coming off the back of a FA Cup defeat and have only had a 2-day turnaround. 7 minutes of added time. How has that happened? Well, this is interesting. There's been words there between Guimaraes and Joe Willock, I think, and they've had to be kept apart there. I think I'm not sure what it was. I think maybe Guimaraes was sort of complaining that he didn't pass the ball to him. Willock had a few things to say, and then the next thing you know, Byrne and Hall are involved, trying to keep them apart. I mean, we know what happened on this ground a few years ago, but certainly a few words said there. But I don't know where 7 minutes of added time has come from. But Bruno is not a happy camper. Kicks the floor there. West Ham take the goal kick short and quick, but they have to get it downfield. They still have it on the edge of their areas. Disasi. They've been given a mini lifeline of 7 minutes. Now here's Matias Fernandez. Edge of the centre circle. Feeds it through to Pablo. Now it comes to Malik Diouf on this near side. This time the cross is a poor one. Well defended by Chow. And then a ridiculous shove in the back there by Castellanos. And Bruno just taking deep breaths there. He's not raising to the bait. That's Argentina against Brazil. Nuno Espirito Santo looks skyward, thinking what is going on there. That was just petulance from Tati Castellanos. And fair play to Bruno Guimaraes, who's just had a row with one of his own players. He did not react. He just looked at the floor and counted to 10. And again, it's a late challenge there now from Fernandez. They are clearly trying to wind up Guimaraes here, but he's not taking the bait, but he does seem to be labouring somewhat. Here comes Pablo through the middle. Now then, Jared Bowen. Not seen much of him at all in this game. Now Malik Diouf. Oh, that's a poor ball and it goes out of play. Malik Diouf can't get to it. He kicks the cone in frustration. Temper's boiling over all over the pitch here. Just pure frustration. And again, you can see some of the West Ham players, they're just definitely trying to get under the skin of the Newcastle captain. That little exchange with Joe Willock. But he hasn't risen to it. He's having his shirt tugged again there by his fellow countryman Pablo. Now then, comes out to Lewis Hall on that far left-hand side. Ball down the line, looking for the run of Joe Willock, but it's intercepted by Mavropanos. Now Pablo on halfway. Now Somerville on this near side. 93.5 minutes gone. Comes in on his right foot, trying to get away from Murphy. He manages to do it, but he runs out of steam. Well, is it going to be a free kick on the edge of the Newcastle box? I think it might be. Somerville goes down. So, opportunity. Tug of the shirt by Murphy, first of all. And then a rather clumsy air shot by Guimaraes. Yeah, and he's caught him right on the shin there. Again, I think that's just, again, a little bit of anger in that challenge, which was a bit of a petulant one. Mistimed it hugely. And it is going to be a free kick to West Ham. 25 yards out, just to the left of the penalty spot. Three-man wall for Newcastle. Castellanos standing over this, whips it in, takes a big deflection up in the air off the wall and into the grateful arms of Nick Pope. And any hope of that was faint has now spluttered and died, you feel, with that. 94.5 minutes remaining. Fernandez trying to win the ball off Botman, and he does. This is Bowen, gets the cross in. Not the best clearing header there from Murphy, but it's picked up by Somerville on this near side. But they've got to get on with it. No point passing it across the back. Here's Kante. Oh, that's a poor ball, intercepted by Murphy, and he will come away with it, takes it round him. Kante sold himself there. The counter's on here for the Magpies. Murphy whips in the ball, and, well, it was a tough one for Elanga. Put it high over the bar. And that's just going to run a bit more time down. Taken too quick. We're going to go down to defeat here. Damage was done in the first half. And it is now going to be down to what Tottenham will do at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday night. A draw will be enough to send West Ham down. Amazing, really, that it's all in the hands of the London clubs. It's the team from the east will be praying the team from the west can do them a favour against a team from the north. Huge tackles going in all over the pitch here. Guimarães really getting in the thick of things. He's really been wound up by something. But yeah, he shakes hands with Disasi inside the final 30 seconds now. So Newcastle are going to finish their home campaign with in the table. And as poor as that sounds for a team like them, and this will be the frustration for them, as things stand, that is only 4 points behind European qualification, with Brighton on 53. Newcastle will go on to 14.